right. I'd like to welcome everyone who is joining us for this month's Mind Your Mind. So I'm actually coming to you live from my private study. And this space is actually where my morning meditation, and I would appreciate if you're joining us, please kindly put your microphone on mute, so that you are not disturbing anyone and everyone who also trying to join us in this session. My name is Joshua Awesome. And as I start this month's edition of Mind Your Mind, the very first thought that is running through my head and my heart is an exciting journey that I have taken. This month actually makes it 24 years that I have been doing what I do. And I remember when I started over 2 decades plus ago. And I started out in the land of my birth in Nigeria. Again, can I ask that we please mute all microphones, please. So as I was saying, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to come to you live from my study here in Sandton, South Africa. This is where I spend my waking hours. So every week I wake up and I spend my first 2 to 3 hours here. Sometimes less, maybe an hour and a half. But I always do it because it is no longer a struggle. It has become a routine. And that's one very important thing that I would like to start with. 24 years ago, when I started my journey, and this journey really is a journey that helped me to arrive at this space and at this very place. 2 decades plus ago, I had started in the land of my birth, Lagos, Nigeria. And I would never, ever forget, as a younger man, I was dreaming of, doing work around the world, getting the opportunity to be able to grow my business to the point where global brands begin to hire and engage me as a person. And also to be able to write as a newspaper columnist, and then get the opportunity to be on television, and also get the opportunity to be able to coach, support, team build, team bond, guide, counsel. And as I think through all the things that I'm talking about right now, I'm smiling because everything that I've just shared has actually happened. So think about it for a moment. Many times when thoughts show up on the canvas of your mind, my mind. One of the things that we do not do is that we do not ink the thoughts. And this is also part of my routine here. And I always have a pen sitting inside my journal because I'm really trying to journal my journey. And everything that I'm saying is part of everything that is very important here and in this month's Mind Your Mind Masterclass. So this Mind Your Mind Masterclass is something that we do every month, and it's hosted by the African Institute of the Mind, which I founded last decade. And it's a non-profit organization that simply wants to help people mind their mind, one mind at a time. Now, here is one very interesting thing. The theme for this month is Get, Set, Grow. Pause on that for one moment and think with me about what I just said. Get, set, grow. The truth is, if you do not prepare for your growth, somebody else's growth and goal will take your attention and your time. And you know, this session is not all about me. It's not all about talking. It's more about thinking and helping us to deepen our level of awareness so that we can raise our level of consciousness and then live the life that we really dream that we want to lead. And this is something that I practice. It's something that I have seen unfold my life, my work into a very beautiful space. Now, if you do not have a pen, you don't have a paper. I mean, use your phone. And if you're using your phone to access this, I'd recommend that you quickly jump up and look for your journal or a notebook and ink thoughts that will emerge on the canvas of your mind. Because this space is actually a creative, connected space. And by virtue of technology, you are connecting with me. And I see a great friend of mine all the way far away in Abidjan joining us. And those who are joining from Nigeria also, and those joining in from South Africa. And wherever it is you are joining us from the world, you are welcome. Saubona, Ekabo, bonjour. And I'm excited about this because you are alive. I am alive. And that's one gift we should never trivialize, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So this is the first time ever that I will host Mind Your Mind from my meditation and mindful space. I have never done it before. However, there is a reason behind everything. And like I always say to my clients, everything is part of everything. So this session is very special in various ways and for various reasons. Why is it special? It's the start of a new year. Now, some people may say, well, is the year new? It is still new. And if you are only coming into the consciousness of a new year right now, then it is new. Whether you started yesterday, today, or you will kick into it tomorrow, it does not change the impact and effect it can have on you. And mentioning the word effect, that as a researcher, we researchers have found out that something called the fresh start effect. And I wrote about this for a newspaper that I currently write for, published out of the UK and circulated in Africa. It's called businessamlive.com, and you can Google that, newspaper. And I wrote about what is called the fresh start effect recently. And the reason why I'm highlighting it is because every one of us will only achieve and attain things, dreams, goals when we approach life with fresh eyes. When we approach life, with that type of perspective. And it's important that every one of us understands where we are at this point. It's important that we understand that at this moment, if you want to grow, you need to give time and make time for your growth. Okay, it's not going to jump on your laps. It's not going to happen automatically. It's going to only happen when you are very intentional about it. And how do you get intentional about your growth? You make room for it. You make time for it. Okay? Leaders who lead in various spheres, spaces, and places have one key habit. They get up before the world wakes up. All right? And you need to begin to do that if you've not been doing it since the year started. Okay? Between 3 and 5 a.m., the leaders who lead the world in various areas of strength, they actually, trust me, they actually, spend a lot of their time investing in their own development. And I'm saying this because I think every one of us needs to understand the power behind, recognizing how important this is. So you and I need to constantly ask ourselves, how ready am I for the new week? How ready am I for the dream that I want to see emerge in my space, in my life, in my, career, around my health this year? And for that to happen, here's the one interesting thing that I will ask you to do. If you have not written down your dreams and goals, I would recommend that you have a blank piece of paper, okay? Just like a new day, it arrives fresh, unstained, untouched, unused. And what you pack into it is what will determine what you get out of it. So my first book, Monday Morning Motivation, Your Work Week Starter, I highlighted that it is not important when you find out the goals you want to achieve. What is important is the realization and the consciousness of that goal and how important it is to you. And why am I saying that? Many times, many of us, every week, every month, every year, we do the same thing. And then we expect a different result. Those little ways of being actually affects you. It affects your inner family system. Okay? So what's your inner family system? Your inner being, okay? From your cells to your organs, and then it begins to impact on how you behave. It impacts on the outcomes you get. It also impacts on your health and your thinking faculty. This is why Mind Your Mind Masterclass exists. It exists because we want to see you and every African flourish, because that is why you're on the planet. You are released to the planet so you can flower, so you can flourish. Okay? And for that to happen, one of the things you need to constantly give attention to is your inner family system. Okay, your inner family system, IFS, and this is scientific, by the way. Okay, when you give attention to it, then you are able to properly understand what is happening and what your body is announcing to you, how you are feeling, and the message that is communicating to you. A discomfort is a trigger towards helping you ease what will become a dis-ease. I will repeat that. When you feel a sense of discomfort within you as a person, that discomfort, okay, is designed to help you what is standing against your ease. Otherwise, it will lead to a dis-ease. All right? So you need to constantly be listening. All right? You need to be hearing what your body is saying to you. All right? Why? Because you are a walking message system. And this inner being, this life, this being that you carry, this body of yours, this house needs to be nurtured and nourished by you, because nobody else will do it for you. And this is one of the reasons why we host this Mind Your Mind Masterclass every month. Take a moment right now and just breathe with me. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Now let it out. You know, you are a breath away from a mentally healthy human being. And the more life locked within you, the more you are able to exhale, okay, anything that is standing against you in any way. And so one of the things that I would encourage everyone who is joining us this day and this week's edition to do is to ask yourself a very honest question. All right? This year, so far, it is the 30th of January, 2022. If you have gotten a pen and a paper, or your phone is with you, you can type in the chat box this question I'm about to ask you. Okay, because this is an involvement of all of us. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to just take a moment right now and, you know, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Okay, what small achievement since the year started, all right, can you celebrate? What small achievement? Anything, okay? Now, please type it in the chat box. And I will read one or two that are typed in the chat box. Now, this is a Mind Your Mind Masterclass. It is designed to help you mind your mind. Because it is when you mind your mind that your mind gets minded to the place and space where you are able to live out your whole self. All right. So please type in the chat box that question I just asked again. All right. Now, if you didn't hear the question, I'm going to ask it another way. What small achievement can we celebrate today? All right. If your mind is not remembering anything today, cast your mind to the past week or cast your mind to the last 30. All right. Now, here's my response to that question, because what I asked you is something that I practice in this space of mind this month, where I reflected, and this is a reflective question for you. Okay. Please, whoever's mic is on there, please mute, so you're not distracting anybody else. Thank you. So which small achievements can you celebrate today? Now, here's what I wrote down and I inked when I thought about this reflective question. For me, it has been a daily discipline every day since this new year, working out my awesome mind, my awesome body, and also my awesome soul. All right. Now it's important that every one of us understands how important and very key this is. Okay. None of us should be in this space or place where, you know, we are basically struggling with finding at least one thing, you know, to celebrate. There's at least one thing you can celebrate. All right. So think about it again. Like I said, the question is, what small achievement can you celebrate today? All right. Now type it in the chat box. What small achievement can you celebrate today? If nothing is coming to your mind, think about the past week. And if you don't want to share it, it's totally okay. You can ink the thoughts for your own consumption. Why is it important that you make some movement? Because movement is medicine, all right? Moving your body, your hand, your mind is medicine to your soul. It's medicine towards your well-being. It is medicine towards your arriving alive at the end of this beautiful day. Now, the next question that is coming to my mind, and this is what I'd like you to prepare for, and this is what we're going to close with. What physical activities bring you joy? All right. For me, I know what it is, and I'm going to share it with you. Aside sharing it with you, we are going to embody it. Why do we need to embody it? Because as you move in the direction of your health, it hands you new strength to be able to seize new possibilities. All right. So pause on that for a moment and think with me. All right. Many times we want to chase dreams. We want to work, but we don't pause. Now, that breath that I asked you to take earlier, that pause is designed intentionally to bring you into a moment that hugs your inner landscape. Yes, it hugs your inner landscape. It warms you within and helps keeping alive that which you need, keeping you in that active moment, active space to be able to unlock fresh possibilities. So to keep our body in good health, okay, it is our duty every day, all right, to look after our minds. Because as you look after your mind then helps you to mind the things that pops up on the canvas of your mind. Believe it or not, you are your mind. Yes, because as the thoughts that become predominant repeat themselves, you feel what it is communicating to you. And science has shown us that your cells actually eavesdrops on your thoughts. So to be able to move forward and close out this session, one of the things that I would like you to do is to check in with yourself right now. How are you feeling? Okay, so do a mood check-in. How are you feeling? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling excited? I am. you feeling grateful? Are you feeling relaxed? Are you feeling content? Or you are feeling tired? Maybe you are unsure, or you are bored. I hope I'm not boring you though. Or you're feeling anxious about certain things that you want to emerge in your life. Or you're feeling angry because of something that didn't happen. You're feeling stressed or sad. Now, either of the 12 emotions or feelings that I just highlighted, every one of them is important. That's why I will ask you to pause and check in with yourself. How are you feeling? I'm feeling grateful here. And I didn't get here overnight. It took many, many nights to get to this place. Like I said, when we started 24 years ago, I started this journey to finding myself, and a journey that continues to unfold. One thing I said earlier for those who just joined us is that I ink my thoughts in this space. This is my private space, where I spend the first hour or two, okay, in my private area. This study of mine is where I morning meditate. It's where I ink my thoughts. It's where I document my goals. And the reality is, all these are very important tools towards your unlocking what is about to emerge. So there's something we call a stress container. And even when you are not feeling okay, it's okay. What do you need to do when you are not feeling okay? Recognize, okay? Recognize what it is, how you are feeling, all right? And that recognition then brings you into a place of awareness, all right? Then, based on what you have recognized and you are aware of, you then need to ink it, all right? Write it down, okay? And then the N stands for nurture or nourish. When you put together the acronym that I just unlocked, it's RAIN. And that's how you can rain out the stress from your heart. You can rain out this discomfort from your life. And these are some of the techniques that we use in coaching psychology to be able to help our clients navigate. And this is why African Institute of the Mind exists, to help you and me mind our minds. So we're going to begin to close this session with an activity. And if you're sitting down, I would like to invite you to actually, stand up with me for a moment now. All right? If you've been sitting, I'd like you to just get up and maybe move around and walk in that space or place, that you are in. And there's a reason why this is important. Because you see, movement in itself is medicine. And as you move your body in some way, it helps your body to be able to connect with fresh, life. And the important thing about it is that you are able to then, take your body to a very interesting space. So we're just going to do a short activity if you're there with me. Now, please self-care in what we're about to do. If it's too much for you, you don't need to, all right? So if you can bend like this, it's totally fine. If you cannot bend like this, please, by all means, all right? By all means, take a straight posture, okay? All right? Now, what I'm going to ask you to do next is I'm going to ask you to open your hands, all right? So open your hands. Now, if you are bending, please keep your hands open still, all right? Now, the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is just lift the hands with me as if you're about to fly like a bird, all right? Again, if you cannot bend like that, self-care, remember what I said, okay? Self-care, you don't necessarily have to go down, okay? You can still open your hands at this level if you are not able to come down to this level. But for those who can come down to this level, by all means, please take this posture as if you're a bird. If you can't come down to this level, fine, just stand straight, okay? Because now we would not harm ourselves. We want to help ourselves, not harm ourselves. Anything that is not helpful is hurtful. So, like I said, if you cannot bend like this, totally fine. Some people, have medical conditions or challenges. It's not going to allow them to do that. And if you're one of my, wheelchair users and you're sitting on a wheelchair, by all means, please just stretch your hands like this, okay? Now, I want this to be an all-inclusive experience. That's why I'm taking time to also share what people who possibly, based on their situation, cannot navigate to do the other things. Now, here's what I want you to hear me out on. And I'm not going to mention the name of this patient or client of mine who is somewhere, in the diaspora, and I had the opportunity to have a session with recently, okay? There's a disconnectedness that we sometimes feel by people in a certain environment. And that's why for you and I to help everyone around us to feel included, we need to accommodate them. And that's why I'm taking my time to explain this. If you're a wheelchair user, you're not standing, it's totally fine. Just stretch your hands like this. If you don't have a back pain or you don't have a back challenge, you're welcome to take this posture. And if you do, by all means, please keep this posture. Now, whichever posture you have taken, I would like you now to take a deep breath in. And as you take that deep breath in, bring your hands down. And as you breathe out, raise it back up. Now, here's what you're going to do for me. You're going to do the outward breath through your mouth, okay? And then you breathe in and out. Let's go. In and out. Let's go. In and out. Now, whichever one you did, by all means, please, you can very well, just return back to a very comfortable posture. If you're sitting on the floor in your lounge, wherever it is you are, please be comfortable. If you need to use a pillow to support you, by all means, please do so. And there's a reason why all these are important. Many times we care for others and give less care for ourselves. You can't do that, because you see, when you do that, what begins to happen is you're not caring for the number one. You are number one. Without you, everyone else who is part of you cannot have the support, the availability, the presence, the present, because your presence in itself is, is a present to the people in your space, work, home, community, whatever communities you belong to, religious or otherwise. It's not as important as understanding that every one of us is a person and every person is important. This Mind Your Mind is non-denominational, non-religious. It is basically centered around all of our well-being. And everything that I'm sharing here has a scientific background to it. So here is the question that I had asked earlier for the benefit of those who are just joining us. Which small activities or achievements can you celebrate today? Think about it. There should be at least one thing you can celebrate today that has happened to you. All right? And if your mind is not picking up anything today, think back to the last week. If your mind is not catching anything, think back to the last 30 days. And if you are in the last category, those of 30 days, don't be hard on yourself. Or the middle category, the last week, don't be hard on yourself. But if you can remember at least one thing every day, here is what that ties to from a psychological construct. It means that you are moving your mental muscles and your mind is becoming attuned and trained to the position where it is becoming more acuity and aligned. It's able to notice thoughts, situations, ideas, concepts that are like what we call the cow. Okay, and there's a system behind what I just said. Okay, the cow, the dog, the question mark, the star. There's something behind all of that, and we won't focus on all of that. And this is a system that was created by the BCG Consulting Group. And I'm actually doing a book around what I'm talking to you about. Actually, just to digress a little bit, this book is actually centered around the richest man in Africa, who last week, interestingly, accepted my LinkedIn invite. Now, here's the interesting thing I want you to hear. Every week, every month, every year, the dream that you want to do wants you to. When I set a goal to write the book that I'm now working on, guess what? Mr. Aliko Dangote did not know. The truth is, I had gone ahead, giving instructions to my executive assistant to order the ISBN number with the title of the book. And when you see it, you will smile. The reality is, he had no idea. But part of the goal towards achieving that book project was to reach out to 88 Africans, 20 from West Africa, 22 from West Africa, 22 from East Africa, 22 from Central Africa and Southern Africa, and 22 from Africans in diaspora. Why 22? It's 2022. Okay. Why 88? Because I want to get various lenses and perspectives around the phrase called multipotentialite. It's a psychological term for people who have various potentials and sometimes are pulled by 1, 2, 3, 4. You're not alone. And that's what drove me to want to write that book, to be able to help people understand how to navigate. And that's why Dangote is the case study. Now, it's not as important as what I said earlier, that Aliko Dangote accepted my LinkedIn invite. Never met him before. However, here's the interesting thing. Until you ink your thoughts, the goals, the dreams, and until you do something about the dream, the universe, the creator, however you want to see what I'm sharing right now, is already setting things in motion to lock the people who will help you to achieve the dream, to get ready. But guess what? They will not be available until you have made some movement. And that movement is like a magnet. It pulls them only when you have pushed yourself and pulled into the new space, and it's going to help you. That's what we're trying to do here today, where we are minding our minds. And as we mind our minds, we are mining creativity. The creativity we are mining needs to be inked. When we ink the thoughts, we then need to get up and go do that which we have inked. So I'm going to take you through another short activity. Remember, the theme for today is get, set, grow. So if you are a wheelchair user, all right, I will ask you to just, again, keep your hands by your side, okay? This next movement and activity can still be done by a wheelchair user, all right? And if you are not able to stand, okay, straight, sorry, if you can, if you can't bend, it's totally okay. You can still use a chair. I'm going to get a chair to be able to make this also easier, all right? Okay, so here's my chair, and then I'm going to then ask, I'm going to just describe this based on what I've just explained. All right, so let me just tilt this a little bit. So if you're a wheelchair user, you keep your hands by your side. All right. Remember the question I tried to ask us earlier. And that question is extremely important. Why is it extremely important? Because if you are going to achieve certain goals, movement needs to be part of it. And it begins with small steps. So the question is, what physical activities bring you joy? Movement, moving your body for me brings me joy. Why does it bring me joy? Because it is moving the internal system. Bear in mind, our ancestors, our great-grandfathers and great-great-grandmothers, they were not living in houses like we are now living in. They didn't have cars. So they would get up from their tents or huts and they will go get food, all right? They will go to the stream to get water. They will hear birds singing. So that's how their mental health was nurtured and nourished. You and I are not in that situation. That's why we need to move our bodies. And in moving your body, you're giving it the medicine, the first medicine that your body should get, okay? At least it should get it once a day. So, now this is a very interesting exercise you can do in the office, by the way, all right? If you work from a desk, whatever work you do, and you sit most of the day, this is also very good. And I encourage you to do it this week, all right? So put your hands on your legs. And close your eyes with me for one moment and breathe in. Hold it. And out. The next, as we breathe in, bend a bit and try and touch your toes. Now, please, self-care, if you cannot go this far, keep it here. But if you're able to, go ahead, okay? If you don't have this type of chair and it's a stool you have, or it's a brick, or, you know, a lazy boy, whatever it is you have, just take a posture that moves your body and allows you some form of movement, okay? So here's what we're now going to do. You reach for your toes, breathe in and out. In and out. Now walk your hands on your legs as if you are walking them back up. Okay? This is movement. You are actually helping your body in some way. All right, we're now going to go back down, but do it as if you're you're walking with your fingers. All right. Let's go back. How does that feel for you? If you want, you can type it in the chat box. The next movement we're going to give our body, okay? I'm sure you can see my legs are actually being lifted up. You're behaving as if you want to, okay, lift up your legs as if someone is saying yes, that they feel relaxed. Thank you. Thank you, Komalafe. You say you feel relaxed. Very, very important. Because you see, you need to feel it. Your body needs this feeling. Now lift up your front legs as if you're wearing high heels. Okay? Now breathe as if you are breathing to those toes. If you're not feeling it, you possibly have not done this before. No judgment. We're not judging anybody here. This is a non-judgmental meeting, an event. All right. Now, slowly place your leg back on the floor. All right. Now we're going to go to the next one where we nurture our brain and our head. Okay. The body goes through a lot of work and stress, and it doesn't get the care that it really needs by us. So you're going to put your hands together as if you want to give yourself a blow, but please don't do that. Okay. All right. Now, be looking at your knuckles now and place it on your forehead. All right. Do this with me. If you want, you can close your eyes while doing this. All right. Now move it to the side of your forehead, of your head. All right. Keep going in circles. Don't press it too hard. Now bring it down towards your throat. Every stress and kinks inside your body needs to be released, because this is how to make the discomfort eased so it does not lead to a dis-ease. All right. Bring it back to the forehead. Let's go one more time to the sides. It's best with your eyes closed. Let's go down to the neck. Bring it forward towards your jaw. Back towards the neck again. And then towards the side of your head. And let's bring it forward. You may put your hands back on your legs. At this moment, just let it sink in. If your mind has gone somewhere else, bring it back to the room. You may open your eyes. Now, as we begin to close, one thing that I would like you to have at the back of your mind is that what you have just done is an investment in yourself. You've actually done what I call an IFS investment. Your internal family system. The first family is you. You need to look after the inner landscape. And every discomfort then experiences an ease. When you give the discomfort attention, it eases away from your body, and they don't come together to create dis-ease. I would repeat that. The discomfort that you feel inside your body, okay? And right now, just before we close, I would like you to just, it's okay to massage your own self. It's okay, totally fine. Okay? To the right also, totally fine. It's healthy, actually. Because the first person that would look after you is you. You are the first. If you don't care for you, nobody else will. And so as we begin to close, I'm going to ask you that question one more time. What physical activities bring you joy? Anybody, you can type it in the chat. Now, I've just shown you the ones that brings me joy. Every day, I do at least 10 to 30 minutes looking after my body. This is why I'm able to do some of the great projects that I get done. Because the very first to second hour of my day is how I get centered. Okay? I help my inner self. Okay? Somebody says, taking a morning walk gives them joy. Totally healthy. As a matter of fact, when you do that, what you're doing is that you're bringing yourself into a nurturing space. Okay? And trust me, your body will be grateful for this. So let's begin to close. Again, for the benefit of those who just joining us, my earlier question, and this is a reflective question, which small activities can you celebrate today? You can write that down, and at the end of your day today or tomorrow, ask yourself this question. Why is it important? Because it helps you to lock gratitude into your being. Gratitude is the vitamin of the soul, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And when you are grateful, it just brings you into a great, space that fills you with so much to then find much more to be grateful for. And as Africans, you possibly have heard this. African parents say this a lot. If you don't stop crying, I will give you something to cry about. I don't know if you've heard that said to you as a kid before. Now, here's the flip side of that. If you don't stop being grateful, the creator of the universe will deliver much more reasons for you to be grateful. So as we close, I encourage everyone who's been a part of this, spread the word about Mind Your Mind Masterclass. It is free, sponsored by African Institute of the Mind. In past editions, we've had the well-being director of Google, my friend Bill Duane, the vice president, learning and development, Microsoft, my friend Charles Morris, to my friend Dr. Maimuna Kadiri, who's part of our practice in Nigeria, and many other persons, to the chairman of the African Board for Coaching Psychologists, Dr. Mongezi, who is my, counseling and coaching psychology oversight. So as I begin to close, I would like to encourage you, if you want a link of this session, by all means, I'm happy to share it with you. at no cost, okay? And you can spread the word. So many more minds on Africa, on this African continent, can get the minding that helps them to mind their minds. This is where we will draw the curtain today. I hope it has been worth your time. I'd like you to type in the chat box one key thing you are taking away from this. What I'm taking away from it is that movement is medicine. That's one thing I'm taking away. Okay. And when we move in these minutes, it helps us to be able to ink our thoughts. All right. You may type in the chat box, you know, what one thing you are taking away from this session as we begin to close. All right. Somebody is raising up their hand. Let's see. Please, you are welcome to unmute yourself. Otherwise, I can unmute you from here. Yeah, we will just take, you know, we will just take one. Please, by all means, unmute yourself. I don't see your name. You are welcome to tell us your name. All right. Yes, look after your mind, okay? Thank you so much. Deeply appreciate that feedback. All right. Okay. So let's close. Yeah. One key thing you're taking away, right? IFS. Great. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We never like to take more than the time that has been allocated for this. And I deeply appreciate everyone who's joined us from West Africa, Abidjan, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. Thank you all. And for those who are watching via YouTube, we deeply appreciate you. I see somebody out in the UK who's joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. And those who are also joining in from Jamaica. Thank you to everybody. My name is Joshua Awesome. And I always like to say, please, until next time when we come together at the end of next month, the last Sunday of every month, please continue to take charge of your mind and take care of your life. Bye for now.